Hello, I'm Barry Crabtree. I'm your certified arborist, and we are going to mix up fertilizer. Now, we have a mixture that we refer to within our own group here as a biostimulant. And the reason we do is this is chemical right here. This is a popular chemical fertilizer. It is used because you can put it in here like this. You can take a little bit of water. You can put a cap on here, you can shake it up, and it's ready to go. It's a chemical, you can put it in the ground, you can apply it just like that, okay? That's a chemical fertilizer, and it's gonna wear out or leach out of the soil the next time it rains one or two hard times, and you're gonna have to come back and do the same thing over and over again. Now, if you're familiar with our protocol, and I would suggest that you do become familiar with our protocol, our goal is cheap to keep. And cheap to keep trees is when we try and shift responsibility over to the trees to care for themselves with the least amount of assistance from us as is possible. Now, if you want more information on the protocol, log on to our website, cheaptokeeptrees.org, and there's a nice little intro there. It's 10 or 15 minutes, and there's some other videos that you can look at. But our purposes right now is we have already gone through the first half of the protocol, where we have begun to evaluate, create, and cooperate. And the customer that is going to get this 200-gallon mixture of biostimulants has 3 peach trees and 3 apple trees that they want to feed and stimulate so that they can have fruit that is sweet, that is non-toxic, and doesn't have any residues of insecticides or pesticides. Our first line of defense against insects with fruit trees is a healthy tree. And the first line of defense is our biostimulant mixture, and we're going to mix up an equivalent 5-gallon mix. This customer has purchased 200 gallons of these materials that you see here. I'll explain it all in just a minute, for $350. And they're going to apply it 5 gallons at a time, and this demonstration is to show them and you and anyone else interested how to mix up 5 gallons of this natural biostimulant to apply to a tree at a time. You can mix it up 30 gallons at a time, 40, 50 gallons at a time. All you have to do is take 5 gallons, divide it into your amount, and you've got exactly the amount that you want to mix up and use at the time. You can have us do it for you, but if you want us to use our spray rig and have people and transportation and time involved, then the price goes up to $750 or $800 depending on the mixture that you select. And so right now we've got this one priced at $350 for the customer to apply by themselves, 5 gallons at a time per tree, and this is exactly how we're going to do it. First, we're going to take a 5-gallon bucket. We're going to put some water in it. It's half filled with water at the time, and we're going to take per 5 gallons, we're going to take 6.5 ounces of humates. This is exactly how you're going to get it in a 2.5 gallon jug, and we're going to measure it out here at 6.5 ounces. All right. All right. Does that look about right, Jesse? Right there. All right, 6.5 ounces of your humates. I'll go ahead and cap that and get it out of the way. Then we've got sea kelp. Now this provides your nitrogen. It's a slow release form. The sea kelp provides your amino acids and a lot of the another 6.5 ounces. We put that in there like that. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put on my latex gloves for the rest of this. There's some of this stuff, none of it is toxic, but it is caustic. If you get it on your skin and it can irritate your skin and so forth. I'm going to go ahead and put these on. You'll get a pair of these. You'll have to get the rest of them on your own, but you get a pair of these from us when you start. Put these on. And we'll start it like this. All right, now the rest of the mixtures that we get are actually quite small. And so I'm going to take this to the side. This is Proof 44. This is a special phosphate, and we're going to take a little cup like this. And you're going to have a smaller container of this per 200 gallons. Let me see, we have for 200 gallons, how much of this do we have, Jesse?
32 ounces.
Okay, 32 ounces. We'll have a quart of this, but I'm going to put it in here like this. All right, it's like Karo syrup. It's very thick. It's a eutectic. We can get into all kinds of extra explanations in other parts of the video, but right now what we're doing is just mixing our stuff up, and then we're going to take Neutral, which is a buffer. This is looks like sugar, and we're going to put it in there like that. We're going to mix it up. Doesn't take much of this at all if you're doing 5 gallons at a time. Then we're going to take an equal amount of amino-cal. This is extruded goose feathers. This is an imported product. You'll also find something very similar to this in Similac. It's a very nutritious product that is an amplifier, and it breaks down some of the bonds. We're going to put that in there as well. We'll mix it up. All right. And we're going to take our mixer here. We're going to pull all this together. All right, now the amino-cal that you have in there, since it's a powder and it's a powdery substance, it doesn't mix up real good. So I'm going to ask you, this is why you have your latex gloves, to move in there and break up all these little knots that you see in there. All right. All right, Jesse, I'm going to come around. I'm going to put this right here. All right. All right, we mix that up like that. Pretty simple stuff. All right. And then we have a water cooler here. You would use your hose, and you would put this in here, and you would fill it up, and there's your 5 gallons. And what you have been able to do with the ingredients that you put in is the pH in water that you get from municipal water sources or out of the ground is way out of whack. The reason we call this a biostimulant is that half of what we put in there is alive. In other words, it has microbial parts of it, microorganisms that grow. The sea kelp, the humates, and the amino-cal all promote the growth of bacteria, fungi, and algae. These are natural parts of the soil that have to be activated in order to get optimal growth. This is where we begin to shift responsibility back over to the trees. It's called cheap to keep because we want the trees to perform that function for themselves so that we have very little to do with it except provide the circumstances. This biostimulant is being put into an area that has been carefully prepared by aeration and decompaction, a refreshment of the critical root zone with our air tool. We're the only ones in the Lake Norman area that provide this service. It is virtually guaranteed to work. We have thousands of trees that we have applied this to, and we know that if it's done in this manner, the reason we're giving you this video is it has to be done in a very precise manner, and it's applied 5 gallons per tree at a time, and then you come back a week later and do 5 more, 5 more, 5 more. This lady has 6 trees. She'll do 30 gallons at a time. She'll probably have all of this fed through the first part of the growing season, 2.5 to 3 months. And so that is exactly how we take these ingredients, combine them on a per 5 gallon basis to get the results that we want. And so do this, and biostimulation will stimulate, animate, and accelerate the growth of your trees towards cheap to keep.